You're good?
Nothing. If I don't have you.
The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Discretion is advised.
All right, enough screwing around, Heidi. Your sounds that you're making were very dumb. I don't appreciate you humming over the intro when we're trying to introduce a very, very, very special guest today. Everybody, welcome to episode 172 of Rare Form Radio. I mean, what a feat, if you think about it. It's a real feat.
172?
172.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It really is crazy. And this is our guest today. Our guest today is, what can you say? What can you say, really? Heidi, what would you say?
I would say I just met her and I just love her.
Yeah,
Aren't you blown away?
She's known me for 3.5 minutes.
I would like to take a moment and welcome back someone who last year, in the midst of COVID, came in and did like 4 or 5 episodes.
I didn't come in.
Well,
That's the only reason why I did it is I did it from my house.
You came into my heart.
Oh, come here, you.
God.
Come on.
Let me pinch those cheeks.
Come on.
Let me give you a noogie.
Thank you so much. Welcome back to the show. Comedian, actress, podcaster, sex pot, Helen Hong.
Oh, I like the sex pot, the best. Sex pot is, can I add it to my, I'm going to add it to all my handles.
Please.
I'm just going to put
How about this?
sex pot.
We've talked before. Someone has stolen at Helen Hong on all the social medias.
That's right.
And it's been probably one of the hardest things you've dealt with in your life.
Yes, indeed.
social media
it is
handle.
Wait, what?
Well, I mean, Helen Hong, like, you explain it.
So years ago when I'm late to every social media platform. Late. I'm like 2 years up because I'm always like, it's a fan. TikTok, who's going to be on that anymore? It's going to be gone in 3 months. And it never is, right? So I'm always like a year or two late to sign up for these things. And on Twitter, I tried to get at Helen Hong years ago. Taken. And so I picked the dumbest alternate handle, which is Funny Helen Hong, which plagues me to this day because it ensures that anyone who tries to find me can't.
Which leads me to my
find me.
suggestion, Sexpot Helen Hong. At Sexpot Helen Hong.
I love it.
I mean, do you want your
Or
career
maybe
to
it's-
do this
yeah.
or to do this?
Or maybe it's Hong Pot.
Oh, boy.
Hong.
Oh, shit.
I don't know why I thought
It
that
all
was
works. It all works. Anyway, regardless, welcome back to the show. It's been lonely here without you the last year.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I've been a little busy.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're here to talk
Shit's
about.
been going on down
You
in the Hongland.
yeah. There's a child in your life. There's a
Dude,
Oh, you had a baby?
well, sort of.
more happened to me during the pandemic than I recommend to anyone. Like, I lived like 7 lives in those 2 years during the pandemic. Like, I bought a house. I had a baby, kind of. My sister had a baby, but I'm raising it. She's a catfishing bitch, my sister. These people know.
She duped you
They know
hard on
her.
that. Yeah, we grew up with her.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
This is the sister that they know.
Yeah. Well, I'm a man, actually. You're pointing at me. I'm a man.
This
I'm
is
not a
the
sister.
sister
Thank you.
that they know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this bitch catfished me. She was like, hey, want to buy a house together? And I was like, you're the one with the good credit. Okay. And then she was like, surprise, I'm pregnant, bitch.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, how did I go from like getting a cool real estate deal to being somebody's baby daddy?
Yeah.
Catfishing
And your
bitch
sister's
sister.
baby daddy.
My sister's baby daddy is a little awkward.
I've been meaning to ask you for a while. Do you see yourself more as an aunt or as like a second mom?
I'm definitely more than an aunt.
Yeah.
If I am an aunt, I am fucking aunt of the year every goddamn year for the rest of my fucking life because I have changed so many diapers. I've like sucked snot out of a nose with a nose straw hole, like a nose straw. Did you know?
Those things, right?
No.
Do you swallow or no?
No, it's worse than those things because those things are just you can shove the ball.
Yeah,
up the
it's a good, yeah.
No, this is like a straw that's connected to your goddamn mouth.
You siphoned it.
I
The way
siphoned
that
nose snot.
losers steal gasoline.
That's right.
You stole your nephew's son's.
I mean,
snots.
thankfully, this doohickey has it's got a thing blocker, so like the snot doesn't actually go into your mouth. But it's still the same concept of you're sucking snot out of a tiny person's nose hole.
Why did they change it from
And-
that ball thing?
It's a
to,
very
like,
good
the-
question.
Yeah.
You get like a machine.
We have them all. We have the ball thing. We have the whole thing. But when when there's snot in there, you got to get it out somehow, and you need to use all the things. So I mean, a regular ant wouldn't be sucking snot out of a straw.
You're an aunt that likes it like fresh from the tap.
Sure. I mean, is a strong word
Enjoy,
in this
enjoy,
situation, but okay.
revel in, however you want to put it.
Pig and shit.
Yeah.
And then his little boy. It's a little boy.
Yeah.
Is he 2 or 1?
No, he
Please
just
don't
turned
gender
1.
him. Don't gender him, Heidi. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know yet. I mean, he's got a dick, but
Yeah.
you never know. Who knows these
He's
days?
an adorable little man.
He really is. Thank you.
We went over to your house a couple weeks ago now, a few weeks ago, and we experienced our first dole.
Yeah.
Do you know what a dole is, Heidi?
Hold on.
DOHL
Is
or
it a
DOL.
blanket?
Yes.
And you wrap them
It's
up
a
in
Korean
it?
You
blanket.
smother
Is it
them.
a pineapple?
Yep, it's a pineapple
Pineapple dole?
blanket. Yeah,
It's a dole
blanket.
pineapple.
Yes.
It's a pineapple shaped like a blanket, and then you shove it in their face. And
you were
they get
very
snot on it.
you were very close with the blanket. Yes. Helen, please explain what a dole is.
Okay, so a dole is a Korean traditional first birthday party. Oh. And
Of course.
it's neither a pineapple nor a
But
blanket.
it's where you do blanket the
you
child
know
with
what?
love, if that's But it was amazing. Yeah, what happens in it?
And it's like a quinceañera for a 1-year-old. Like, I spent $4,000 on this fucking baby birthday party. What aunt would do that? Like,
Wow.
I'm aunt plus, okay? I spent $4 fucking grand because, like, neither me nor my sister have ever been married. So this was our wedding. This was like the way that we could plan a wedding. Every woman has a dream, apparently, in the back of their brain of planning a wedding. I planned a 1-year-old's birthday party as if it was a wedding.
Wait, this was in the movie Parasite.
That's right.
At the end.
That's right.
'Cause I'm like, where have I... Right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
so in Korean culture, the first birthday is a really big deal because traditionally the infant mortality rate was so high, like way back in the day, that if your baby made it to 1, it was a big deal.
Wow.
So the 1-year-old party is like you get the traditional outfits and you put a whole table with big spread and you invite everybody and it's pretty much like a wedding / quinceañera, and you spend all this money and invite everyone, and there's food and drinks and stuff. Aww. So we did it in our backyard because we wanted to be COVID safe. We didn't want it to be a super spreader event. But like I hired like a freaking fancy porta potty.
Oh yeah. By the way, it was so fucking hot out. It was so fucking hot out.
It was like the hottest day of the year.
She lives in South Central, and it was so fucking hot. But this bathroom, this porta potty, was air conditioned. So there were people that were taking a lot of potty breaks, but it was just to cool down. It was sweltering.
Dude, I mean, cause it was like 50, 60 people there. And I'm like, I don't want 50, 60 people traipsing into my house. Hell no. So I like rented a fancy, not like a shitty porta potty, like a trailer bathroom that they have at weddings.
Oh, yeah.
That you
It was
open
nice.
the door and the AC turns on and the lights and the music and the
Yeah.
whole thing. So I hired that, and there were umbrellas and tables and chairs, like fancy tables and chairs, and we did a whole thing.
Great food.
There was a step and repeat. Not
Yeah,
really.
right.
There was like, they call it a pipe and drink.
Yes. And you also had there was a violin player.
There was a violin player. Yo!
She was adorable. Who
this
was
shit
she?
was fancy.
She was great.
I want to go to
That was very sweet. Honestly, it was very, very sweet. And like the child is supposed to, there's like a how do you explain the tradition of it? Like,
so there's like the highlight of the party is this thing called a dole, which literally means birthday grab. And what it is the kid is placed in front of a bunch of different items, and whatever item that they grab is going to predict their future career or lifestyle. So like there's always, being Korean, there's always a stethoscope.
yeah, of course.
Become a medical
Or
doctor,
3 or 4
kids.
stethoscopes. Yeah.
So there's always like a stethoscope, and there's always a gavel because lawyer. And then there's like, sports, like a soccer ball or a basketball. That means they're going to be an athlete, a pro athlete. There's a dollar bill. It means going to be
Thief.
rich.
A thief.
Yeah. Con artist. And there's like,
cool.
It was
there's
really
a ball
sweet.
of yarn that signifies long life. And so he reached for, we didn't have the gavel because we swapped out the gavel for a tiny astronaut because we would rather have him launch himself into space than become a lawyer. Yeah. No
Get him
offense
out of the
to
house.
lawyers.
Yeah.
No offense to the lawyers out there, but I don't know a single lawyer that's happy. Do you?
One.
Really?
One.
I know a lot
He's
of
retired,
lawyers.
so now he's happy. So that might be it.
Trying to think.
I know a shit ton of lawyers, and they're all fucking miserable. And so we don't want that for him.
No.
Yeah. We'd
No.
rather have him launch into space.
Hell yeah.
So he picked, so the funny thing was my dad, his granddad, was like he like strung all the things on a pole and he was like manipulating
Oh,
it.
he
Like
was
he
trying.
tried, like Max tried to grab, the baby
about
tried to grab the basketball, like a toy basketball.
And Dad lifted it up so the kid couldn't
Dad's
reach
like,
it.
Nope. And everyone's like, no, that's cheating. You're cheating.
It was really great. And then
So it's on a pole. You hang them from.
Yeah.
No, traditionally it's just laid out on a blanket.
Oh, okay.
But our dad, being extra, was like, "I'm gonna tie all the things to a pole," and we're like, "Whatever, Dad. Like,
let him have it. Just let him have it. He needed it.
you know what? You're retired. You need a thing to do. Fine."
I mean, by the way, you know my wife, but we call her Darren on the show because
Darren?
our old engineer. Show yourself. Our old engineer left the show to open a hot dog stand in Texas, which shows you how much he believes in this show. So we kept her name
He
Darren.
was going off to do like a noble endeavor. He's like, "No, I'm slinging some like pig meat.
I'm gonna risk it all on hot dogs. And
I'm
but
slinging some mystery meat in a completely different state."
Darren and I did not know what to expect from the party, and it was very, very sweet. Like when your uncle got up and gave the whole history of what a dole was and explained the ages thing, and it was very, very. We were very
my
honored
uncle,
to be there.
God bless him. I thought first of all, okay, between you and me, I asked my dad, and my dad's like, "Well, you should have your uncle because he's the head of the family," and I'm like, "All right." So my uncle, like, I thought it was just gonna be this lighthearted like Q&A thing, and my uncle's like, he unfolds this. He's like, "The history of the dole is that in 1799."
It was full on book report. It was full on like fourth grade book report.
I'm like,
But wait,
but it was sweet.
What did
It
he
was
grab? What did he?
he grabbed the toy basketball.
Oh, that was his first thing, and then
that he wanted to grab it first, that my
Yeah.
dad tried to dissuade him from grabbing, and then he grabbed it again. So
Oh, so
Little-
he's gonna be
little LeBron Hong.
athlete.
LeBron Hong, that's right, little athlete. Which, did you hear that LeBron just became a billionaire with a B?
I'm not surprised.
He's the first active NFL member to
NBA.
and
Unless you know something I don't know.
sports.
Yeah.
Sports.
First golfer to ever get a triple double.
He's the first Major League Baseball player to reach
To ever be a black basketball player that has billions.
Can you believe he's a golfer? I can't.
It's funny. I'm like,
These are really shit.
Uh-huh.
Can you believe it? Can you
Heidi,
believe a
just
pro
nod and go along with it. Just nod and go along.
Can you believe a pro swimmer could make it that far?
So LeBron's a billionaire.
With a B.
Wow.
Motherfucker is making $1 billion. And I'm like,
Do you know-
yes, I'm glad you picked that fucking basketball.
yeah.
Do you know his?
Go get that cha-ching.
Do you remember his shoe deal when he was in high school?
Yes.
He signed a Nike
Yeah.
deal before he even played one game in the NBA in high school. A $90 million deal with Nike.
Yeah, well, now he's got
Jesus
$1 billion because of that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But he's great with it too, because he gives
Yeah.
He's cool.
gives it
He's
away
cool as
and-
fuck.
yeah.
Really, yeah, he's really,
Generous.
He hates my beloved Celtics, but I do appreciate LeBron.
yeah.
Nice guy.
Do you remember when he first moved to LA and he declared that he was going to bike to the stadium and everyone went,
yes.
Don't do that.
wrap the man in cellophane. What the fuck? Get the biggest bubble wrap bike you can find.
That would have been a bad idea.
He would have died the first day.
A bad idea.
We would all have been like, this is how LeBron dies.
Get him one of those big, those hamster balls that adults go in.
Literally, people were talking about it.
bubble.
Like, you're going to bike in L.A.? Oh, you dead.
Yeah, you're a dead boy. Helen, we're here mostly to talk about you. We're very excited.
Thank you.
You have...
Thanks, Darren.
You have your
Darren,
first...
you're hiding in the corner.
You just put out your first real legit comedy special, which is
first?
so fucking awesome. It's called Well Hong, which is obviously genius, and it's streaming now on Amazon Prime. I bought it, by the way. I didn't rent it.
You're so kind.
I bought it.
Oh my god!
So I can watch it over
you
and
can
over.
watch it again.
Yeah, and I want you to have my
again
$12,
and
$13.
You know what? You could both have your dicks out while you watch it.
Thank you,
Darren.
Darren and I. Well, 69 with our dicks and watch Well Hong. But for
That's
real,
how I watch my own special. I watch
your
it with
dick
my
out?
dick out.
Hell
Dick
yeah.
out.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you.
And I want
I
to say,
really
like,
appreciate it.
I tried because before your special came out, you found out 3 weeks before you shot it that you were doing it in the middle of like lockdown, basically.
Peak pandemic.
Peak pandemic.
Peak pandemic. I get a call. My agent's like, "Hey, they want to shoot your special." It was a month. Maybe it was 5.
Oh, never mind that.
Maybe it was 5 weeks, but
Way
it
less
was
dramatic.
pretty much the same. And they were like, "You would have to go to New York, and they would tape it in a month." And I'm like, "Oh, sure."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say no, right?
It's not like I haven't been on stage in a fucking year
Yeah.
because of the pandemic.
That we're still in when
we're
that was
still
yeah.
in. I'm actually super proud of myself because, as I mentioned this at the end of the special, it's like, every comedian's dream to shoot a big special, hour-long special for like a big, like at a big venue and like a legit comedy company and stuff. But like, you train it's like you get the call to go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like my whole life I've been working towards this moment, and this is it. I'm getting my shot. So I'm going to like run my hour like as many times as I can. I'm going to practice and like perfect the wording on every joke, and this was like, I haven't been on stage in a year. I've been in the fucking fetal position in my kitchen, like Lysoling my groceries like everybody else.
How dumb were we? That's crazy.
And now they're like, go to New York and shoot this. You haven't been on a plane in 14 months. Go shoot this special. And I'm like, all right.
Say yes.
Okay.
So Darren and I got a call to, we're invited to your house because you wanted to run your hour.
I had to run my hour
fun.
in my backyard
So
with
there
my
was like,
neighbors.
what, 20, 30
Yeah.
of us?
Yeah, there's
All
Because,
on
like-
folding chairs in the backyard watching her, and she has like a little deck in the backyard.
Because I
Had a little
I
PA.
literally had like 3 weeks to get this special together before I'm taping it, and it's hard to get an hour of stage time. Really hard. Because in LA, like the clubs, like you perform 15-20 minutes. That's like a standard
The
spot
people that get an
time.
hour don't need
No.
that time. Yeah. They're already
Exactly.
they're
Like
moving.
the only people who can just call a club and be like, I need an hour of stage time are like Chappelle and Chris Rock and Seinfeld. Like they can call a club and be like, give me an hour, and they'll be like, sure, we'll clear the calendar, do whatever you want. But I'm not that person. So like I couldn't get an hour of, like I had to do like 15-minute chunks at every club in town, every bar show, every Zoom show, every show that was doing comedy, which this was a year ago. It was still like pandemic, like not everything was back up and running. So I was like, I need to run this hour like in its entirety. I can only do it in my backyard with random people I know, like inviting all my neighbors. And these people came. You and Darren came.
Darren and I, my beautiful wife, Darren.
and baby was just born.
Baby
too.
was just born. The
that's
baby was
right.
like 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
It was the first time the baby was seeing people, and it was like,
Well, it was the first time a lot of us had seen that many people in a while.
Yeah.
So it was cool for everybody
yeah,
involved. to
it
be
was
honest
nice.
with
And
you.
there were people like still masked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
But it was fun to see like how it went from your backyard to being on
Yeah.
the stage.
It's interesting, right?
With like great production.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I mean it when I say like you really did an amazing job.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Like
Thank you.
I tried to watch it as if I didn't know you, like take myself
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
And it's so funny.
Thank you.
She kept saying like she's such a pro. She's such a pro.
And I watched it and I
She
didn't know
watched it.
you.
Right.
And it
what were your
was-
thoughts?
It was. I was like, why aren't you on like like the billboards. Like you're hilarious.
Thank you so
For real.
And it was so professional. Like
And
you've
just
been like
fucking clean. Like
yeah, it was
Tight.
Yeah, it was tight.
It was
Thank
really good.
you.
And your outfit was really cute.
And your outfit
Oh
was
Those
yeah,
shoes
I am
were really
proud of my
cute.
outfit. I
Yeah.
do
I
like
like
my
that
outfit.
jacket.
I mean, it was like I had gained the COVID-19. You know what I mean? Like it was like I had gained all this weight and I was super rusty and like I had just had a baby. I mean, not physically, but you know what I mean. Like
Right, of
I'm
course.
taking care of an infant. Like it was like the last possible moment in my life where I should have been shooting a comedy special.
So-
I mean, but you would never know that.
That's
Thank
what that's the
you.
thing, like, and
Never.
Thank you.
it's something to be very, very proud of. But like
Thank you.
behind the scenes, what is that prep like? Those few weeks of prep, like what is going on? How much
sheer
input?
panic.
How much input do you have in the way it looks, or do you have any input in that kind of stuff?
I had no input in the way it looks. So the special was taped in conjunction with the Tribeca Film Festival.
Oh, fun.
So the Tribeca Film Festival has been trying the past couple years to like not just do film and just to do more like to make it like a huge festival with like comedy and music and culture and art shows and stuff, like not just have it be the Tribeca Film Festival. So they rebranded to Tribeca Fest, and they were going to do 10 hour-long comedy specials with this company, Comedy Dynamics, which is it's one of the biggest comedy special companies. They did Gaffigans, you know, they've done like all these big specials. And they invited me and I was really honored. But because it was part of the Tribeca Festival, there was one venue that they just set up the whole backdrop that was always going to be the same. And they would just change up the lighting and the colors and stuff like that. So I had no say in like the way that was going to look as far as the backdrop and the colors and the lighting. They asked me what outfit I was wearing, so I brought a bunch of choices. I was like, I could wear this black shirt or this floral thing, and they were like, go with the floral thing. And they were like, we can match the color, like kind of match some of the colors to your outfit. And I was like, cool. So like that kind of stuff, that was just them, that I had no say in. Yeah, I mean, I obviously the jokes were all me. Those were all my jokes that I just had to refine. And I mean, honestly, the first 20 minutes of jokes were brand new jokes about the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because they were
Yeah,
pandemic
but then
jokes.
look, I mean, it felt like you'd been doing this for years. You know what I mean? Like those were like, I don't know. It was really good.
I mean, I had done
It
them
was
on like
polished.
the Zoom show, you know, the few Zoom shows or outdoor shows that I had done during the pandemic, but like I hadn't really run them at a club. And then all the baby stuff was brand new because the baby was 2 weeks old at the time. So it was a lot of really new material, which is very unusual for a comic to do on a special. Like usually it's like, especially a first special. This is my first comedy special after like 16 years of doing stand-up, and it's usually in that situation you just bring out the bangers, like all the jokes,
Stuff that works.
the
Stuff that
shit
you know.
that is
Tried and
like
true.
tried and true material over the course of your entire 16-year career. You dust that shit off, you run it and run it and run it until it's like airtight, and then you put it on the special, and then you retire those jokes. Right. You never do those jokes again because these are like the culmination of these 16 years of jokes. But because the moment was so different, like I'm not going to be talking about like Tinder. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I haven't been on a Tinder date in a year and a half.
I wanted to ask you if you had any kind of thoughts about, should I talk about COVID because people don't want to hear about it, or do I want to talk about it to make it like a snapshot in time?
No, I
or-
wanted to lean into it because for me, I can't, like for me, it has to be authentic. Like I have to believe in the jokes. Otherwise I can't sell the jokes. Like if I'm like I'm a bad liar. Like I can't be on stage and be like, I read this thing from 12 years ago. That's not relevant to me anymore, but I'm just going to tell you as if it was. Like, no, the pandemic and the baby were the thing that were foremost in my mind. It was the thing that was going on with me the most. The anxiety, all the anxiety, the stress, trying to get a doctor's appointment. Like that shit was all true. Trying to get, like taking my dog Xanax, all true.
Can we talk
That
about
shit was so-
shit.
Can we talk about, so I found this, that was my favorite part because I have really bad anxiety.
Yes.
And my old boyfriend had dogs at Xanax because for July 4th, the dog would have to take it.
Fucking pussy.
So I don't understand why doctors only give 5 or 10. I mean,
Because of the
I
opioid
understand.
crisis.
Totally, I understand.
Opioid crisis ruined it for all of us.
But people who really have a disorder, I take like a quarter of one on a plane.
Same.
I don't take a full. I take
Same.
it. I tear it apart and,
Yep.
and it just, okay, I feel
Yeah.
better. But I didn't have any. The doctor was like, well, I don't know. I'll give you 5. Let's just wait a month. Same thing. Let's just wait a month.
5 for a month for people with anxiety seems
because
like
they're
criminal.
afraid of getting
Yeah.
sued because as they should be, because the opioid epidemic starts like that. It starts with like,
Xanax.
hey, I have some.
Xanax is very
Because
powerful.
then
Xanax
10
would,
years
though.
ago or 15 years ago, if you went into your doctor and said, hey, I'm having anxiety, they would give you 60 Xanax.
Exactly,
And then
yeah.
you'd have a full-blown addiction.
20 years ago, I took 3 Xanax and I thought I fucked a dude, and I'm not even kidding.
What?
I was sure that I fucked a man.
Did you
So
take
it was-
it like a bar of
It
it,
was,
or
remember
something?
when there were footballs, when they were like
What?
blue ones? I'll tell you the story if you want to hear the story, but
Oh my God. But wait, so I had to take.
It's powerful.
I was having a severe panic attack. And if you've ever not had one, you don't. Oh my God. You don't understand. But if you've had one, you understand. Like, I was
You think
having
you're gonna
a
die.
heart attack.
Yeah, you think you're gonna die.
And I couldn't breathe. Like, claustrophobia, like really bad. So
Still
I,
with the laughter. Still
still
with the
funny.
laughter.
It's still funny.
so I went into the kitchen. And I opened it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm having. And I was like, Xanax for the dog. And I was like, oh. And I halved it, and I took it, and I felt better. It was like the same. It was the same thing.
I learned this from an actual medical doctor a few years back. I was doing a gig, who knows where, in the middle of the country. And we were like I forget what it was, but there was a bunch of people hanging out at the bar afterwards. And there's this woman who's a legit medical doctor. And she casually goes, yeah, and I had run out of Xanax, so I just took my dogs. And I was like,
Wait, what?
wait, time out, and let's do a deep dive on what you just said. Yeah. So this woman was a legit MD, and she casually was like, I ran out of Xanax, so I took my dogs. And I was like, you can take dog Xanax? She was like, oh yeah, it's the exact same stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, duh. What's it? I not know this before.
It's one of those mind-blowing moments.
I would have had a dog. Yo, if I had known this, I would have had a dog. I would have had a dog for 23 years already.
Yeah.
But the best was
Dog
that was
to
my
feel
favorite
good.
time.
Huh? Guys?
My
Am I right? Dog to feel good.
comedy.
But that was my favorite part because I was like, oh my God, yes.
True.
And you were like talking about your dog is like
100%.
the poor thing, his mom wants him to marry a doctor, and you're like, and then my favorite part was you're like, that's my mom.
It's true.
So
It's
funny.
true. My poor Dodger Hong, my dog, is
Oh,
just.
was that his name?
That's his name. Yeah.
Dodger
This
Hong.
is like, I gave him a very weak ass origin story in the special, but it's true.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true. I got the dog. That's not why I got the dog, but obviously it's a perk. It's a perk of having the dog because Dodger is so chill.
Yeah.
Like if I
God.
gave him Xanax, he would be dead.
Dude.
Like, he would just. He would
he's a
sink
young
into
dog.
the ground if he gave. This dog is so fucking chill. Like
He would ascend to a different place if you.
literally, he would start levitating. He's
Yeah.
so zen.
So before you bring him in, you got to get him all worked up.
But my vet don't know that. My vet
So let's
thinks
keep
he's
it
high
on the
strung.
down low.
My vet thinks my dog is high strung as fuck. It's because I stab him in the car on the way in with
Yeah.
a butter knife a couple of times. I'm like,
We're gonna fucking kill you, Dodger.
And my dog's like,
stressed
Play it cool.
see?
Play it cool, or we're putting you down, you son of a bitch.
See, he needs Xanax. He's fucking crazy.
He has so much anxiety. That's so
And then
funny.
cut to me in the on the dashboard. I'm snorting his Xanax off the dashboard.
Good boy, Dodger. Good boy, Dodger. Good boy.
Directly in the parking lot of the vet's office. I'm like, thank you, Dodger.
You bring him right back in. Doc, he did them all. He did them all. We need more. He's so freaked out. I love my dog. I need
I'm
him.
doing lines of Xanax off of my dog's belly because he's on his tummy, so fucking chill. And I'm like, good boy.
Good boy.
That's right.
Mama loves you, Dodger. So,
my God.
was that material? Did you write all that for
Yeah.
the special, or had you been writing throughout just in case things opened
No.
up?
I mean, I was still doing stand up through the pandemic because of the Zoom. Thank God for these random Zoom comedy shows.
Did you
And
like them?
I hated the idea at 1st, but You know, when you're in a desert, you don't bitch that it's not like fucking Voss water. You know what I mean? Like
I'd find
you
a
don't
way.
you don't bitch like if
Yeah,
you're in the
yeah.
Sahara and somebody hands you a muddy glass of water, you're not like, this is not Fiji.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, but I usually drink out of glass. Yeah, no, I'm drinking whatever is available. So like in the pandemic, like all the clubs shut down, and it's like you're either doing the Zoom shows or you're not doing stand up.
So you found satisfaction in doing those.
Yeah, and it was good because like the audiences understood. You know, it's weird for everyone.
Yeah.
It's awkward for everyone. The audiences had never been in a Zoom comedy show. Like they knew we had never done a Zoom comedy show. So it was very forgiving and it was really nice. And it was good. Like I still like, you know, wrote some good material during the pandemic that was specific to the pandemic, like all that toilet paper stuff and wanting to fuck a doomsday prepper.
Can we talk about? I went to the Hispanic store that's next to my place, and I got
The
toilet
scented, scented Papel de Hygienico.
I got that, and then I got another one. I didn't know it was scented, and I didn't use it because I'm like, I'm gonna get like a yeast infection. It's disgusting. No, but the other one, it was so hard, like freaking
Like rough?
Yeah,
Rough
hard,
TP?
rough. Yes.
Rough tea.
Don't. Okay, you never skimp on toilet paper or paper towels.
Yeah, but it was a pandemic. I couldn't
There was
find
no
anything.
TP to
Then
be
you
had.
use your
That's
sheets
insane.
or use a nice T-shirt. I
It was
wouldn't.
It
No
was
way.
like $6. They jacked
Oh
the
yeah.
price.
I mean, this was like this bodega. Actually, it was in San Francisco. Actually, this was where when I was staying with Amy. Like the pandemic was such a mess. I was like my roommate decided that his girlfriend needed to quarantine with us,
Fucking cunt.
and she's a lovely girl, but she has baby voice.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. That I hate. I can't do that.
I can't. It's baby. I can't tell what's worse, baby voice or vocal fry. When people talk like that.
Do we have any more pasta?
Yeah, vocal fry.
You just
this is
get
yeah.
up and work.
Oh my god, exactly.
You're just lazy.
Just like get off your ass.
Just
That's not this girl. This girl is baby voice. She's a fully grown woman that talks like this.
Is it a real voice or does she put it on?
I don't know.
Between
This
us.
is the only way I've ever heard her talk. So who's
Britney
to know?
Spears does it, but then you hear her real voice sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful, and you're like, oh my god. And her real voice is like this.
That's it. Put her back in the conservatorship.
Yeah.
She can't even handle her own voice. She needs a man's help.
Anyway, not to disparage this girl, but just the bottom line is I had baby voice bitch living in my house with me, quarantining. And I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. So me and Dodger, my very chill dog, went up to stay. I was like, I would rather stay at my sister's like 400 square foot studio in San Francisco than live in this my own apartment with baby voice. Anyway, so I go and I'm trying to find tea. This was peak lockdown when you could not find the TP, no way. So I like trekked to literally every single tiny bodega, and there was like a couple of bodegas that had TP, but it was all scented. Which obviously it's like they're reaching into like the bottom, you know, like even like I've since spoken to like Latino friends of mine who were like, no, it's not. So even for Latino people, the scented shit is weird, right? But this was like beggars can't be choosers. This is the only TP we've got. It's motherfucking scented.
It was like back in like the room, like they had it in the back.
It's got a
Like,
layer of dust on it.
Yeah, it had dust on it. I swear,
Christ.
it had
Yeah, with like cat paw prints on the top. And so that's the TP that they were busting out because there was no other TP. And I said in the special, during the taping, I said, these people want that Fabuloso smell literally everywhere. And then I thought that was a little racist. So I took that out.
You cut it?
I cut
You cut
that
it?
out of
I
the final
noticed
cut.
that. I like, but I
You
She
noticed
liked
there was
it.
a
Darren
cut?
liked it.
no.
Oh, you noticed?
She remembers the material.
Oh, Darren.
Yeah.
What a good memory you have. Yeah, I made a joke about Fabuloso smell, but then on rewatching it, I was like, that could be construed as a little racist, so I cut that from the final cut. But yeah, it completely true story. The papel de hygienico literally said aroma de manzanilla.
Did you have Final Cut in the special?
I did.
That's great.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I had final cut on the special. Thank God. Yeah, because there was definitely like the taping.
You do 2 nights or one night?
No, I did one show.
For real?
Forget a night.
Let the listeners know that like
So
usually
a typical taping
for a comedy special
is at least 2 full tapings.
I didn't know that.
So like,
Just so in case you
book
flub
the
a line
theater,
or-
you book the theater, and you do the exact same hour, one show. Then they send out the audience. They bring in a completely new audience. You do the exact same hour, wearing the same clothes, same hair, same makeup, and then they edit the 2 together. The best of each joke, the best take of each joke, they edit it together, and it seems like you just did it in one fell swoop. But and then some comedians will
Spoiler
do
alert.
4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're a bigger name comedian, you can afford, or this is the way that you have set up. You can do 4 shows wearing the same outfit. You can do 6 shows wearing the same outfit and edit the whole thing together. Usually it's just 2.
That was one
like an
show.
early show and a late show. That's usually
Wow.
This, because it was Tribeca. It was one and done. I had one go, and so the behind the scenes is. There were a bunch of jokes that I flubbed because A, I was rusty. This was my first time in front of a live audience in literally a year. But 2, I was nervous.
Yeah, well,
This is
of
like,
course.
there's like 17 cameras running around. Right. There's camera operators. There's an entire video village that you're looking straight at because the camera, all the video village is at the back of the room. And there's literally like 8 cameras and you can see them all pointed right at you. So I was nervous. So I definitely fucked up a bunch of jokes and I just retook them in the moment. Or at the end of the show, I did retakes of I did my walkout retake, I did my closer retake, I did like
with the crowd or once they're out.
Yeah,
Which-
with the
cool.
crowd. With the crowd. Yeah. So
Which is cool when the crowd's kind of in on it. Like we're
Yeah.
gonna do this again, just be excited or whatever.
Yeah.
Clap and
yeah, although I felt like even they were nervous because we were all. This was the first time we had been in a crowd.
They're like, can we die tonight?
Yeah.
Should we?
Because,
Is she worth it? I think she
Because
is.
people were still masking at the time indoors. Actually, I think there was a mask mandate for indoor stuff for New York City at the time. But this, because it was a special
there's no
event,
masks, were there?
because
She
it was a
noticed.
special event, you had to be vaxxed and you had to show your vax card.
what we
to
So
get
there
into the
was
audience.
vaxes then.
100%.
Okay.
100%. You had to show your vax card to get into that audience. All the crew had to show their vax card. All the production team.
Were those? You had a question about the audience at one point. Did you have a question? We were talking before. Like, was it? Go ahead.
I'm always just so curious about the audience and how you how the comedian plays to that and how it affects you and this particular audience. And by the way, side note, the special thing, that's my favorite game to watch, is to watch the audience switch
To see if
throughout a whole
she always picks up on it.
I never knew
very
that.
astute.
She's looking for it.
I'm
She's
an-
always looking
yeah.
for
Very
it.
astute. But it also kind of makes it look like there's a bigger audience.
Oh, it's
If you
amazing.
switched the crowd in the middle and then you can edit those 2 crowds together, it now
dope.
looks like in my special, you can kind of see the same. They cut to kind of the same faces as the audience reaction shots because there was only one audience
Yeah.
and it was limited capacity because it was still COVID. So there was only, I think max capacity was 120. So I think it was about 100, maybe a little more than
Still
100
good. That's a
people.
good crowd.
So how
Good
was-
crowd,
yeah,
but
how was
still
it?
only limited amount of people to the crowd that they could cut away
Were
to.
they your fans?
I was just gonna ask.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
Some of them were my friend, personal friends, fans, but not everyone.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not. There were definitely people there's people who were cracking up in the cut where I'm like, I wish I knew who that person
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
and send them a note and be like, thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
laughing so hard with the cameras in your face. It's hard to laugh with because there's a roving camera operator.
you're so vulnerable
Who's
and-
in your face while you're trying to watch this comedy show and laughing.
So
and
those
and then you
close-ups are
just
really-
Oh yeah, you feel this camera
Oh, I-
kind of.
oh my
You can
God.
feel this camera pointed right at you, and so you're like,
There's a couple. Everyone who supports this show, please go watch us on Amazon Prime. But there's a couple extreme close-ups where you can see people's molars and shit almost.
Yeah.
But they must have been.
yeah, they're like, please get out of my face. I'm trying to
that's so
enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super awkward. I mean, it really is. To shoot a really solid comedy special it's really it's an uphill battle, and so many things can go wrong. I'm friends with this great comedian named Marcella Arguella. I still can't. I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
What's her first name?
Marcella.
Marcella Fabulosa, or whatever it is. No.
Does she have long curly
Yes.
hair down it? I just saw her at
Yes.
the Laugh Factory.
Yes.
She's amazing.
She just taped for an album, an audio recording, one of the worst shows she's ever done in her entire life. And she just had to tweet. She tweeted about it and she was like, this business is so wild. I just bombed one of the worst shows I've ever bombed. And it was for my album taping.
Oh, God.
And every comedian replied, ugh. Totes understand. Oh, dude, fuck.
get it.
Feel so bad for you. Get it. Been there. Like, it's just Murphy's Law.
I've done that.
It's Murphy's fucking law. This is like your one night to shine, and for some reason your game is off. The audience's game is off. The lighting is weird. Whatever. The camera is fucking up the crowd. Like, whatever it is, it's Murphy's Law that it's an important night and something's going to get
I've toured with bands, and they record shows for a DVD release or whatever. And a couple of them have like, we're scrapping it. We spent all that money.
Oh, yeah.
It just wasn't good. We can't
100%.
salvage it. We didn't look good. We didn't sound good. Even with overdubs, we can't fix it. So just flush the money down the toilet.
It happens. It happens. It sucks. And that's why that's why it was terrifying to me to have one shot.
Yeah.
Sure.
I had one taping.
It's like the Eminem song.
I was just gonna say you only get one
Yeah.
shot.
Really, I had like
Lose yourself,
I had
Helen.
mom's
Lose yourself.
spaghetti on my little, on my cute little outfit. I was puking up mom's spaghetti.
But does part of that one shot thing, like, does it fire you up? Is there something exciting and exhilarating about that, or is it just fear?
It is. It's fear. It's anxiety. It's also like you get to the point where you just got to be like, well, fuck it. You like,
Right.
I just gotta. Whatever's going to happen. I mean, now that I'm 16 years into my career, I understand this is not one shot. You know what I mean? Like, if I had bombed so hard that it was unsalvageable, like our Marcella is the same. She just had to laugh about it. It's like, I know this isn't going to be the end all be all of my career because I'm 16 years in and I'm still standing.
Yeah.
But it would have been a bummer.
Just don't
It would've
bomb
been a
when you
bummer.
host SNL eventually.
Yeah.
That'll be a drag.
Yeah,
That
would
will
be a bag. Yeah.
How's the feedback? I know we're taping this on, what's it, Friday?
It's
Thursday.
been out for 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Okay, good.
I mean, people that I know personally that have seen it are like, this is so great. But what else are they going to say?
Right.
Bitch, you sucked. Like, nobody's going to say that to my face.
If I didn't love it, I would have told you I haven't seen it yet. But
Yeah.
it really is wonderful. It really is wonderful.
Thank you. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it considering everything that we just talked about of the kind of the uphill battle of it. And the timing of it was so fucking great. I mean, I literally left the baby was 3 weeks old when I left town. So I left my sister. She's still bleeding out of her hooch
Ew.
from pushing a baby out of her vagine. And so she's wearing like adult diapers. And I'm like, I'm going to go tape a comedy special. Bye.
And now a year later, she's still wearing the diapers, which is weird. I think she just
Now
likes them.
she's just into it.
She's lazy.
Now she just shits in it. She's like, whatever.
So just one diaper the whole
I'm
time.
gonna get some.
Good idea.
It's a fun time. Just roll around in it.
Also during this year, by the way, Well Hong on Amazon Prime, and just buy it. Be cool and buy it.
I just rented it. I'm sorry.
Well, you go back and buy it. You can go back and buy
That's
it.
okay.
It's okay.
That's okay. I forgive you.
Whatever, Heidi. Fucking fucked up, but whatever.
Where'd you find this bitch?
mean,
Anyway?
I didn't-
Jesus,
I didn't
she's
really
a
know.
renter, not a buyer.
I didn't know you.
Kidding.
Do you know where we found her? We tell everybody this, but
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever hear the story of the woman in LA who was attacked by a homeless guy and he dumped diarrhea on her head? That's her.
No.
Yes.
Have you heard that story?
Yeah, it was a couple
I mean,
years
I
ago.
thought it was an urban myth.
No, that's
I was
her.
like, that is not. It's not possible
So-
that that's a true story.
We tell this story all the time, but like we heard that story.
You had
Yeah.
somebody dump.
But before that, he violently attacked me. So he pushed me in my car twice.
You're such a
Oh my
dick.
god. And then I froze, and I thought he was gonna, because he didn't say a word, so I thought he was gonna murder me, rape me. I didn't know.
Was this at night? Damn.
It was like at 9 at night.
Was there
9:30?
anyone else around?
No one, but it was a Hollywood and Bronson in front of the Palms Thai restaurant, and my boyfriend and his friend parked in the garage, and I thought I'd save some money and park on the street. And I've been living here on and off for
So that's where we found her.
years.
She was attacked with
Yeah, I was
diarrhea.
attacked, yeah.
We found her as a guest, brought her in, hit it off, and now here she is as a permanent co-host here.
Just imagine if you hadn't had the diarrhea on head incident, you wouldn't be here right now.
Exactly.
Yep.
So there's a,
If you ask me, it was worth it.
it's a diamond in the rough / it's a diamond in the diarrhea.
Yeah. A diarrhea in the rough.
That's true.
Diarrhea.
It's
A turd in the diarrhea. A
That
solid
is-
turd in the diarrhea.
So
My
what
sister was punched in the head by a homeless person in San Francisco.
I do it. I mean, it's always funny. No,
I mean,
not.
it's kind of like, I don't even like. Yeah, you just got to be.
Stop Asian hate. It's ridiculous. Come on, man.
I don't think the homeless person that punched her in the head knew what race she was or what planet they were on at the time. But yeah, it's fun.
So I wanted to bring up too. Also, during the last year or two, you went through something very traumatic, medical wise.
Oh my God! When I tell you, like in this
Let me lead
special,
into it. Let me
I
lead
talk
into
about-
it first. We started this podcast with you showing us your tits.
I showed everyone in this room my titties
They're
Yeah.
gorgeous.
because they're brand spanking new.
You're the first guest to do that, and
show
hopefully
you my
not.
titties?
Hopefully not the last.
Yeah. Well, because I'm trying. Okay, so
What happened?
shortly after the taping, June, July, August, September, 4 months after the taping.
Asian math. Fuck yeah, dude. It's true, everybody. It's true.
Literally count on my finger. I'm like,
On your abacus, just
July,
whoop, 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 whoop.
August, September, October. 4. It was 4. July,
Fall.
August.
It was fall.
4 months after the taping, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I won't do it.
I would have appreciated the laugh track then. Breast cancer.
Always funny.
Hilarious.
No, that's crazy.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So I opted for a double mastectomy. Ladies and men with tits, because I learned also men can get breast
Is
cancer.
that a dig at me? I have a little bit of.
You did
little
look
bit.
directly.
Not
at him.
only,
Ouch. You
like,
felt
you
that,
don't
right?
even have to have man bitch tits.
Yeah, I don't. So
You can have, like, legit hard ass, like, solid,
And
tight
still.
pecs and still get breast cancer, young man. So, like, it's crazy. I had never had a mammogram. I was super slackadaisical about it. I was like, whatever, I'm young, I'm healthy.
they found it on your first mammogram.
No, that's not even how they found
Oh.
out. Yo, listen to this.
Listening.
I get the vaccine, and I learned afterwards that the vaccine can inflame your lymph nodes. So I get the vaccine, and I, like, 2 weeks later, I feel this hard marble in my armpit, like right here, and it's like a perfectly round, hard, like marble under my skin. And I'm like, and it's like rolling around in there, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I tell my sister, and she's like, yo, you need to get that checked out, like, today.
Painful or just you just discovered
No,
nothing?
just like, just in the shower being like, what is that? Like, ball in my pit. So I go, and I'm like, I call my doctor. I'm like, I feel this weird thing. And she's like, we should get you in for a mammogram stat. So I go in for the mammogram, and fun fact, Asian women often have dense breast tissue.
I have.
I knew that.
Yo,
too.
we got thick ass titties.
Hell yeah, hell
You
yeah.
know,
I have the same
our
thing.
tiny ass titties, they be thick.
So
They be
thick.
dense as fuck. So, which
So
means
dense,
that
dog.
if you have a dense, which a lot of women do, you have it,
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
Asian women, but like just women, like random women will have dense breast tissue. If you have dense breast tissue, a mammogram will not,
shit.
ain't shit, will
No.
not find shit.
No, you have
This
to do
happened to
the
my mother.
The sonogram, yeah.
You have to do an ultrasound.
Or ultrasound, yeah.
So they were like, you have dense breast tissue. We're having trouble seeing in the mammogram. We're going to give you an ultrasound. From what it looks like so far, this thing that you're feeling looks normal. It looks like an inflamed lymph node, which has been happening with the vaccine. But in your other titty over here, where you felt nothing, we're seeing some abnormality. And I'm like, okay. So I get the ultrasound, and they're like, surprise, it's cancer, bitch. Yeah, I had cancer, not in the thing that I felt, in a total, in the other
Thank God you had
breast that I felt nothing, that I was like, this breast is good. This one is problematic. They were like, no, this breast is good. This one's problematic.
The old switcheroo.
And thankfully, because of this fucking random marble, which ended up being a lymph node that just went away in 2 weeks, it was just it was just like a normal effect that sometimes the vaccine will have on your lymph nodes. They're like, you were super lucky because we found your cancer at stage 0. Because had you not felt this lymph node, you wouldn't have come in for a mammogram. This shit would have been growing in you for months to years. And it would have been...
I mean, it could have been the worst.
Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Like, you never know.
And stage 2 means it's spread.
It's spread.
Yeah.
Stage
Is that right?
4 is the worst.
Yeah.
Stage 4 is when it's spread like... Things are not
to
looking
like your
good.
liver and
Get your affairs in order.
bones.
Yeah, like it's spread to like it's kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
Stage 4 is bad. Stage 0 is the best.
Wow.
And so it was tiny. So it was like they said it was about the size of my thumbnail. They told me in centimeters, and I was like, I mean, a thumbnail. And I'm like, yeah. So I had a tiny little cancer tumor in my right breast, which I never would have found had I not had this weird reaction to the vaccine. So the vaccine saved my life in a way that I never intended.
Right.
And I was so lucky. And I went in and they were like, and it was kind of weird because, I mean, not weird knowing me, like, I'm just not like, I'm not like a, like over emotional person. I'm not a person who's like, gets like, really like, like, I'm just not that person. So to me, it was just another thing I had to do. Like, put it on the fucking list. Okay, treat my breast cancer, put it on the list under... promote my comedy special and like keep this baby alive and like go to Sprouts at 2:00 on Thursday. You know what I mean? Like it was just another thing. I was so busy. I had so much going on and I was like, let's just fucking add it to the list. So I go in and they're like, they're like putting their, the oncologist putting her hand on my knee being like, Helen, we're going to get through this. And I was like, shut the fuck up and just tell me, like, just give it to me straight. And so she's like, well, these are the options for your treatment. We could do chemotherapy. I was like, stop. Right there. I'm going to tell you exactly what I want. I want the Angelina Jolie special. Just like these girls turned on me. They're fucking evicted. Get them the fuck out and give me brand new ones.
Was that your feeling right off the bat?
Right off the bat.
What?
Right off the bat.
Had you known anyone who'd been through it before?
My mother.
Okay.
My mother was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer 5 years ago, which was a little bit more serious. So her tumor was like about the size of a golf ball. Thankfully,
how many thumbnails though?
Depends on your thumb. How big is your thumb?
Your thumb.
My thumb
3,
is probably
4 thumbnails.
Yeah, probably. Actually, I have tiny thumbs, so maybe 7 thumbnails.
7 Helen thumbnails
would be one golf ball.
That's an intense one. It's kind of.
So my mother, we were talking about this before the recording. My mother, being my mother, like didn't want to tell us anything. So she didn't have it, like, and they barely speak English. So like they didn't have us to advocate for her health. So she just did what the doctors told them to do. And she got a lumpectomy with follow-up radiation therapy and hormone therapy. And she was so brain fogged from the radiation, fucks with your like energy level and you can't sleep and you feel hot all over. Like she was such in a brain fog that the last day of her radiation therapy, she got her car T-boned and got into such a bad accident that her car was totaled and she broke her shoulder.
Wow.
And
well, the radiation also affects everything else around. That's why it's so bad. It affects your stomach, everything that's around
it's a traumatic thing for your
they
body.
are radiating your body with radiation. So she was like so out of it that she got into this like catastrophic car accident where I like, I get this call from the hospital. I'm like trying to get on the first plane to Boston. It was crazy. And so I was like, no, we not doing that. So I was like, I would rather take these titties out and I would rather have no titties, frankly, than have to go through that shit. And also, like, I just wanted to be one and done. Like, my mom had to go through, like, so many follow-up visits. The radiation was, like, every Tuesday at 2, she had to go get radiation therapy for, like, a year. Then now she's on hormone therapy, and they're saying she has to be on hormone treatments for the rest of her life. So she has to take these fucked up hormone pills that make her feel weird forever. And I'm like, why didn't you get a mastectomy? You're 70. Your tits are done. You don't need them to. Trust me, Dad doesn't want to see your tits. No, ain't nobody need to see your tits.
You should ask your dad. I want your dad's point of view on this.
Like,
so your decision was that quick?
So quick. And I think they were taken aback by how matter of fact I was, because I didn't even let them stop talking. I was like, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Can we do it now?
I'm gonna let you finish.
Ready now.
You know what? I'm gonna let you finish, but first, take my tits out. Yeah.
If you were further, like if you were stage 1 or 2 or even 3, could you get a mastectomy and avoid all the other stuff?
Yes,
You can.
as long as it hasn't spread.
Yes.
But
okay.
then, like, the ramifications, if it's spread to the skin, you're losing your nipples, you're losing your skin. That's why you see a lot of times, like, there's a very bad scar. Like, they can't put an implant in there, and it's just flat with a bad scar. A lot of times you see that. That means it was further along. So I was super lucky. Like, my nipples got saved. It hadn't spread to the skin. So all they had to do was take out the breast tissue inside, and then I had the reconstruction right there on the spot. So it was hilarious. They did it like a tag team where the oncologist was like, "I'm taking the tits out, done," and then this other dude came in, was like putting
Tagged
tits
him in.
in.
Wait, were you awake?
No, of course not.
No, she was helping stuff him in.
I was like,
Here you go.
a little to the left, buddy, a little.
She went to the bodega and she assisted herself.
Just lavender
you
scented
call that-
boobs.
No, I was out as fuck. But like, I just thought it was funny that they like, cause I
Yeah.
know, cause they tell you exactly what they're gonna do.
like a pit
So
crew.
they
Yeah,
just
attacked-
picture it, like
they
they-
attacked
like they
him,
high
the
five each other.
oncologist came
Okay,
in and
right.
she did the cut and she took all that and she was like, "I'm done with this tit. Next." And then this other doctor comes in and he's the plastic surgeon and he's the one that puts the fake titty
crazy.
in. So she's taking the tit out of this side and he's putting the fake titty in. I mean, it was like, I imagine, like, that's how they explained it to me. So that's how I imagine it
Right.
went. I wasn't there. Obviously, I was out. But I just think it's
Like
funny.
Benny Hill.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a pit crew. Like, I'm done over here. All right, I'm going in.
How was good?
Oh, I have a question. A question. When you had the ultrasound, how long after that did you know it was cancer? Because they do like
Yeah, they have to read the test.
Yeah.
Yeah, a week, maybe.
and then did you sort of feel like it's cancer, or did you?
Were you stressing that
yeah,
week?
Were you like?
What was your gut telling
Were you taking any dog Xanax?
5 a day.
I was so sure that it was going to be nothing that when I got the call, I think I was like at Trader Joe's or something. Like, I didn't even take it seriously. Like, I didn't take the follow-up call seriously at all because I was like, I honestly 100% of my being felt it's going to be nothing. In fact, I'm not going to hear from them. Because, you know, it's a lot of times, like, you get a test done, and if it's negative, they don't call you. Or they don't, like, they leave a voicemail, and they're like, "Hey, we have your results. Call us back."
It's like an acting audition. We'll call you if
Yeah, exactly. And then if you don't call back and they don't call you back, it means it was nothing. It was negative, right? So I'm like, that's going to be what's going to happen. And so when they called, I think I literally was like in line at Trader Joe's and they were like, "Hi, this has been," and I was like, "Okay." And we have your results. And I was like, "Okay, go for it. Can you put that in? Can I have a paper bag, please? A paper bag?" Yeah. So unfortunately it's cancer. And I was like,
What? Are you sure?
you know what? Let me validate my parking first.
So in that moment, like, what is your like true feeling? Shock
I
or
am
just-
very unusual in that I am truly not afraid of death. Truly. Like, if they had said it's stage 4 and you've got a month, I would have been like, well, fuck it, I'm not paying for these groceries.
I'm gonna hold this place up.
Grabbed a bottle of Prosecco and just strolled the fuck out. Like, I really, and my sister is the same way.
Darren's that
oddly.
way, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
praying
what
for
it
it.
is. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what it is because my sister's also the same way. So something tells me it's something about our upbringing or genetics or something. But like, I truly, and I think that's why I was just like, all right, let's just add it to the list of shit I gotta do and take care of. And like, I just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of, I'm not one of these people that like is afraid of dying in a car. Like, I could be on the most turbulent flight.
You're talking
How is
to
it a bloody
You're
knuckles?
talking to the most afraid person.
Like, I've been on planes. I've been on planes where if the flight attendants had not been strapped in, they would have hit the ceiling. Like, I've been on planes like that, and I'm just like, all right. And people are screaming and praying around me, and I'm just like, all right.
You're like, everyone, calm down.
I'm like, this is how I go.
We're
like,
dying,
I
yes,
really
but-
don't.
yeah.
A, there's nothing I can do about it. B, I really believe it's your time. There is nothing you can do about it. Like, you're going. And C, like, get me the fuck out of here.
C is my
I
favorite.
mean, could it
The
be
world-
like, could I go anywhere worse than where I am now? Like, I don't think so. I secretly believe, Darren, I feel like we're simpatico in this way. Like, am I in hell?
Yeah.
Probably. Like, am I in the bad place? I feel like I'm here. Is
world
there
is
a
not-
place that's worse than the bad place?
The world is not getting better. It's not getting
No,
better.
Upside down.
I really
No.
don't. I really don't. And so I really just, I wasn't, and I know this is unusual, and I know, this is not to discount anybody else's reaction to their cancer diagnosis or like any kind of illness diagnosis, but I just was like, all right, how do we deal with this? You know, which is not to say that I was just going to lay down and die. Like, obviously I was like, all right, well, what's the treatment? You know, like, let's just snip the titties and get fresh new ones in there. And
That's amazing.
How was that? What was that recovery like?
I felt so bad for my sister because she literally had to take care of 2 infants.
Because you were on all kinds of tubes and drainage systems.
I had like bloody I had never had a major surgery before. Never. I've never broken a bone. I've never had anything removed or anything like wisdom.
I'm really superstitious. I'm like knocking.
She's not so many.
in Heidi's
I
mind,
think
you were getting so
wisdom
fucked
teeth.
up tonight.
Yeah, like wisdom teeth was like literally the only major surgery I'd ever had. And so and so it was all new to me. Like, I had never spent a night in a hospital. Like, it was all new to me. And so
You never will again.
yeah. And I didn't realize how. First of all, do you know the thing that fucked me up the most? Like, the most painful thing? Was my caffeine withdrawal.
Oh,
I'm not kidding you. Because you know,
Can you not have caffeine
you're
when
on
you're-
pain meds, and so like, and you're all stitched up, and because of the way, I don't know if this is true. No, this is true for all mastectomies. You have no sensation. Like, the nerves are so cut that to this day, like, I have no feeling like from my nipple out to my armpit.
No nipple feeling at all? Heidi, you lick those things. Will you just real-
Okay, no, I feel them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel them. But from
that's good.
yeah, do. No,
That's good though.
because they cut so many nerves that they warn you like you're like it's gonna take years for you to get sensation.
Oh, it does come back. That was my next
It
question.
does come back. It takes years.
Jesus.
So like this armpit, I feel nothing. I mean, I feel the pressure, the muscle feels something, but the skin feels nothing. So if you were a bug crawling up here, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know that there was a bug crawling.
Let's not have that happen.
Yeah.
That sounds like worse than
or
cancer.
if you went like this, like a soft, I wouldn't feel that. You would have to press down really hard for me to go, okay, I feel the sensation in my muscle, but I don't feel it in the skin. So I don't feel any. So I've and you're hopped up on so many painkillers, but I had like blood drains. Like they,
Yeah,
You were
those little,
posting
like,
pictures.
drains.
You were posting pictures.
I had
little,
like
like,
I had tubes
Yeah.
in my tit, like under the skin, wrapped around my new fake boobies to drain the fluids out. And so I'm attached to these like bloody plastic grenades that are just slowly filling up. It was fucking nauseating. But the only pain I felt was the next day because I hadn't had a cup of coffee in 24 hours. I had a migraine so bad, and they're trying to kick me out of the hospital. Yo,
Yeah,
hospital
just put me down, doc. Just put me down.
Hospital industrial complex, that shit is real. They could not get me out. They were like,
Turn
meanwhile,
over.
the
Get that bed.
doctor's like, if you want to stay, you can stay. No problem, no rush. Next thing you know, the nurse is like, it's 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Check out time, bitch.
It's been 7 minutes.
Time. You're not hemorrhaging? Check out. Somebody's waiting for this bed, asshole. I mean, she's literally like packing my bags for me.
They don't
and
even
I'm
change
like,
the fucking sheets.
I'm
They're
like,
No.
excuse me, but I
Next.
had major and she's like, tick tock, bitch. There's no late checkout here at the old ER. And so, and I'm fighting with the nurse because I have a migraine from caffeine withdrawal. I'm like, I feel nothing here. This is a cakewalk. I have no pain here.
Couldn't care less. Yeah.
Head killing me. And I didn't realize how bad of a caffeine addict I was
Wow.
until I was like puking in a bag.
Yeah.
because of a migraine I had from caffeine withdrawal. And I'm literally in
I'm
the
getting
hospital.
itchy now. Like I want to get a coffee bean.
I'm like
as
in
you're
the
talking
hospital
about it.
bed, like they're trying to kick me out, and I'm like, I need a fucking coffee first, bitch. Give me the fucking coffee.
Like you're possessed.
And it's like bad hospital coffee, and I'm like snorting it.
Off a Dodger's Deli.
I'm
Yeah.
literally like, I'm
weird
like
cup.
mainlining.
Oh yeah, that plastic.
Yeah, the plastic
In the
cup. it's
in the plastic cup, and I'm mainlining that shit to try to get it in my veins as fast as I could. That was the only pain I had. Can you believe it?
No.
Were you there for one night
Horrible.
or 2 nights?
One night.
One night. That's
one
it.
night. But this is what I mean. It's like I had major surgery. They cut me open and took out like a pound of flesh literally from my insides. And they're like, TikTok, bitch, it's 11 a.m. checkout time.
Wait,
And I'm like, are you fucking nuts? And I have excellent health insurance.
Sure.
I have the same health insurance that Tom motherfucking Hanks has.
Wow.
Because I have it through SAG. And they're still like, get the fuck out.
I wonder how he was when he had his breast removed. If he went through the same kind of. What was your
when I
question?
had my operation, they wouldn't let me leave until I could. This is crazy. Pass gas.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I
That's
You had to
wanted
prove
to.
it?
I had to like.
Doc, I got one brewing.
I had to let
Come
let
on
them
in.
know that I had passed gas. Well, it was like the second day, and I was in so much pain. So I was on a morphine drip. It was July 4th, and I was like, I don't want to go. I just want to lay here and have my morphine.
Hell
So
yeah.
he came in, and I think I did sort of like my stomach goes. I'm like, no, I don't feel anything.
Hell yeah.
Another night.
He was there for 3 months.
Pass gas, and
This was my
It
first
just
time.
won't come out, Doc.
I think for me, for some reason, it was like pee. Like I had to pee or something.
Oh, yeah, you have to
It
pee, like, a certain amount.
Yeah, it
Yep,
wasn't for me.
yep.
It wasn't gas. And
Yeah.
had I know that, I would have been like, I haven't peed in days. There's nothing down
Nothing
there.
down
I
there.
have no moisture. Just
don't know
nothing.
what's up.
You know what I could use?
Morphine. Yeah.
A coffee will help me go.
Coffee will make me
Yeah.
feel real quick.
But I was dumb. I was my first hospital stay, and so I was just like, yeah, I peed in the thing. And they're like, you peed? Get the fuck out. And I'm like, I literally was like blinded by this like migraine. And they're like, do you have any pain in your tits? I'm like, what tits?
Are my tits in my head? If so, then yes.
Talk about my tits. Just give me a good coffee. I need a cappuccino, bitch. Like, I can't believe, like, I'm like, fuck the morphine. Give me a fucking cappuccino was like the thing that I couldn't believe it. And my sister thought it was so funny. But that was the one thing, the most painful thing was my caffeine withdrawal.
Oh my god.
Did
It was
your
serious.
did the baby ever hurt you during your recovery? Did he ever hit you or hit you in the
No,
boob?
so I was not allowed to pick up the baby for 6 weeks.
Oh, I remember that.
And that was also because the baby was so young.
When he's older, he's gonna feel that you didn't love him. You know that, right?
but he was still in an age where he was like he knew enough that he would hold his
He's like, what's wrong with me?
and,
Why
and
don't
I
you
was
love
like,
me?
and I had to be like, I'm so sorry, honey, I can't pick you up. And he'd be like, he'd do the cute thing of like, pick me up, and I'd be like, I'm so sorry, honey, and then after a week, he stopped asking.
No, he learned.
Yo, that
He
was
learned that
goddamn,
the love faucet was turned off.
that was goddamn heartbreaking. He stopped asking to be picked up because I wouldn't do it for a week.
He's just like, no, I'll just lay here.
And he was like, "No, it's cool. I understand. You're
Honestly, that
you're
must have
just-
been
you
painful.
turned-"
That
It was
must have
so
sucked.
painful. It was so emotionally. I mean, I didn't know because I was high as fuck for a
Right.
week. I mean, they give you real
Good stuff.
industrial strength. Like they sent me home with Valium and like I had so many pill bottles, and there was like. The heavy duty shit would make you constipated, so then I had to take like a stool softener on top of the Klonopin and the Valium, and I was so hopped up. And my sister took video of me just being high.
We gotta see those.
She had a video of
Amy,
me
send
like
them over.
in the living room where I'm just like, yay. I'm just doing this weird like 70s
Old
like
man
peyote
dance.
dance. I'm
Yeah.
just like, and she's like, what is happening? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel
Mind your business.
I
So
was
good.
high.
I've heard women before when they have breasts removed, like have this sense like they feel like they lost some of their like womanness.
Yeah.
Did you feel any of that? Do you feel any kind of like detachment
Yeah,
or
I
loss?
do feel I have not. What is that? Is that somebody's phone?
Feedback.
I don't care for it.
Wait, something changed. Is it my phone?
I don't know what's
It's not
going
a
on.
phone, it's
Things
feedback.
happening.
Whatever.
Things.
we
Oh,
go.
that.
Got it.
Ooh,
I'm a tech guy. I know what's up.
Wow.
Don't touch anything, Darren. It's fine.
Leave it alone, Darren. You're not a tech guy.
Back to the serious stuff.
What was I talking about?
Do you feel less of a
The
woman?
sense of loss or...
So yeah, I haven't had sex since my new titties came in, and you guys have now seen them. I showed everyone in this room my boobs before we started recording. I'm not going to show you my boobs. Sorry.
All right, guys. On the Patreon.
So my boobs are now like there's a big scar. So it's not a typical breast augmentation. For a breast augmentation, they either cut the nipple around the nipple and they put the implant through the nipple, or they cut underneath. So then when you're scarring, you're kind of, it's harder to see because it's like the under boob where it's usually a shadow and stuff. The breast cancer, they have to cut you right across, like from the nipple to the armpit.
All business.
To take all the breast tissue out. And they even take out some of the lymph nodes in your armpits. Like, they have to make sure they get all the breast tissue out so that none of it becomes cancerous down the line. And so I have this big ass scar now from my nipple to my armpit straight across. And so I am a little self-conscious. Like, I'm a little self-conscious about like hooking up with someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like having sex with someone and just being like, I hope you're into like weird scarry breasts. And also like it's not like I went to like the best breast augmentation surgeon in Beverly Hills. Like I had to go to like Dr. whatever, so-and-so who's doing the, like, I'm doing
the back of a pizza joint.
like I'm doing the like, I don't know, I do plastic surgery out of a university hospital after this oncology bitch gets out, after she's done, I tag team in and I just shove them in there. So like, it's not the best boob work.
I think they look great.
Thank you.
I've
seen a lot of
as
my
a
friends
dude.
who've
I mean, I
had-
don't know if you care what I think, but like, I don't think you have anything to be concerned or
Thank
self-conscious
you.
about.
No,
like,
thank
they look great.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
like, also, if you're a dude and you're lucky enough to be hooking up, you're also just happy that you're hooking
Yeah.
up. So like, I don't
Yeah.
think. If
So
you
I
saw a
feel
guy,
like-
if you were with a guy who had like a scar on the side of his dick, would you be that concerned about it?
No, I actually did hook up with a guy once who had vitiligo.
The curve.
No,
The
that-
Michael Jackson thing.
Yes.
Wait,
on his dick.
Was it striped or is it just like different?
It was like
a,
big, like,
splotchy
spot-
colors.
yeah.
What
So
was
it
he?
Like,
What was his-
He was white.
okay,
With dark hair, so maybe
with
Italian.
a big black dick, or what was it? Yeah,
He had
yeah.
a nice sized dick.
So what was it? What was
So
it
it looked like a map of Uganda. Wow! Like it looked like a geographical map of some. Like it looked like it was like okay, here's Italy.
Yeah.
Like his dick was two different colors. It was like, this is Italy, this is Portugal, this is the Red Sea. I don't know.
Did he
any
have it?
geography.
Amazing.
Did he have it anywhere else on his
then
body?
It was kind of a little bit
Okay.
on his thighs, but it was just so weird that it was like the skin color discoloration would start at his junk.
Yeah.
But he was super cool, and we had been hooked. This was our second date, so I guess we didn't have sex on the first date. But the second date, we were hooking up, and he took his pants down, and he immediately was like, "Hey, I just want to explain this to you. Like, I have vitiligo. If skin's discoloration, I hope it doesn't freak you out." And I was like, I looked at it, and I was like, it didn't look like herpes or anything to me. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And then he stuck it in there. I was like, yeah. Yeah. My vagina don't care what color it is. Yeah.
I think most people don't care about that kind of stuff. I
Yeah,
really do
you're
believe
right.
that. So
You're right.
I hope you can find a way to not be so self-conscious
Yeah,
about it.
so I haven't had sex since then, and I'm a little self-conscious about jumping back into like hooking up with randos. Hooking up with randos was like my favorite activity after drinking coffee, I guess.
Yeah.
It was drinking coffee.
You'll get back to it. I have no doubt.
Snorting my dog Xanax,
Yeah.
and then hooking up with randos. Those are my three favorite activities.
You can do it!
In order.
Yeah.
And so I just haven't really been seeking out like sex because I'm a little self-conscious of it. I mean, the scars are better now, but right after it was like bad. And so I was like, ooh, like
We
it's
have
a
a
little
very
Frankenstein-y.
we have a very degenerate fan base. So if you guys hit up funny Helen Hong and see if you
Yeah,
like,
let's
throw her some
fuck.
dick. Throw her some
If
dick.
you're into like slightly scarred, mismatched fake titties, I'm your bitch.
And an Asian fetish. I mean, you do check a lot of boxes.
That's right. My
So-
vagina is, it does go sideways.
Yes, and there are balls in it. There's balls that come out of it.
There's balls. That's right. Ping pong balls, golf balls.
In closing, I want to mention your shirt real quick. You came in wearing a Star Trek shirt, and if anyone listens to the show, we talked about it before, you are a huge Trekkie.
I'm a huge TNG fan, and I actually have
Which stands for,
this
Heidi? TNG, what does that stand
Star
for?
Trek TNG, if you had to guess.
Come on.
The Next Generation.
Ding, 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 ding,
My, just so you know, you guys, my boyfriend will be on a new episode of Star Trek, and he's
Strange New
already
Worlds?
getting
No.
with what with
Discovery.
what's his face?
Oh, Picard.
Yeah, Picard.
Oh my god.
Oh, your man.
And
She
he
creams
so get
herself
this.
over Picard.
My God.
So he had I couldn't say anything. He sent me a picture of what he looked like, and like he had to sign like a
NDA or whatever.
And I wasn't like, I wanted to go on set, but I wasn't allowed. But I saw the pictures. It's so fucking cool. And he plays a drug lord, and he's all
Dude.
blue. He kind of looks like not Shrek, but he looks like a genie. And
Dude,
it's
this
really
is my
cool.
biggest goal in life is to get on Picard.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna
But
happen.
it's funny
Have you
because
made
he's
efforts?
already
Have you
getting,
tried? Have you like put it out there you want to be on?
Oh my God. When Picard was first announced, I sent an email to like every agent at my agency. I'm represented by a huge Hollywood agency that has like hundreds of agents. I literally sent a reply all like
This is what I'm here
a
for.
CC every agent at my agency and was like, you don't understand how much I need to get on Star Trek Picard. If you don't make this happen, you're all fucking fired.
It'll happen.
And they're like,
And
and
you're
that
like,
was
I'm not
it.
kidding.
That was literally that was literally it. But by the way, I have this exact same shirt with Captain Picard, but I didn't wear it because it's covered in my jizz.
Who's on? What?
Yeah,
Is it, who's on?
obviously.
Is that Nancy Pelosi on that one?
It's what's her? It's
It's Captain motherfucking Janeway.
what's
What did I say?
What's her
Pelosi?
real name? What's her real
It's
name? Is
why am I blanking out? Kate Mulgrew.
yeah.
Kate Mulgrew, who I met.
You just went to a convention.
I just
Oh, so you're a huge
because
Trekkie.
of this email that I sent to my
Heidi,
agency, they
she's a
were all
total
alerted
dork, a
to
total
how
dork.
like how big of a Star Trek fan I am, and so they got asked to provide talent for the first official Star Trek con to come back after the pandemic, and they were like, "We have a bitch for you."
Wow.
Star
So
Trek Con.
Star Trek Con
Pretty good.
convention.
But it's funny because his episode hasn't aired and he's already getting.
Oh, he's in
things
for
the-
life.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
what he's like. Oh, geez, I guess I'm.
Is he
I'm in
gonna
it for?
do the convention circuit?
Maybe
He will be asked
I think
at some
that's what
point,
he
I
got
assume.
asked. To,
I mean, you
to go
can
do.
make
Yeah.
money signing autographs for the rest of your life if you're in a Star Trek. It's kind of
It's like
scary.
horror and Star Trek people. Like you work forever.
It's
You're
kind
in one
of
movie.
scary. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I just went to my first I mean, I'm not such a big nerd that I would go to a Star Trek convention if I wasn't being paid to go, which is what I was.
Mm-hmm.
But I went and I could. This is like a new joke that I'm doing. Like I thought I was a Star Trek fan
Oh,
until I went to the Star Trek convention, and now I know I'm just some dumb bitch
that's
who can't even speak Klingon or like know the chemical makeup of neutrinos. Like how dumb am I?
Do you know what? Do you guys know what Contact in the Desert is? You
No.
ever heard of that?
No.
It's a UFO convention in Joshua Tree.
Ooh,
And
that sounds amazing.
I like with Star Trek for You. I love UFOs, aliens since I was a kid.
really?
So I went there to cover it once with a friend of mine for something, and we had like a 3-day weekend pass to go, and I'm watching all the people whose YouTube videos I watch do seminars and everything.
Oh my god.
But I'm like you. I'm walking around. I'm like, these people are fucking losers. Not to say that Trekkies are losers, but when I was there, I was like,
They go so hard.
I thought I cared a lot about this.
Yeah.
You
No,
guys.
you don't even scratch the surface.
Was I supposed to come dressed as an alien?
Yeah.
Wow. Am I not doing this right?
People live and breathe, and like they.
It's
like,
beautiful, actually,
people-
when you
it
think about
is.
it.
It
It really
actually
is.
is. It really is such a nice sense of camaraderie, and that's why these conventions are so lovely because it's like they found their people, and especially Star Trek because Star Trek really appeals to the disaffected.
Yeah.
So like there were a lot of people of what's the PC term of saying differently abled. So there were a lot of people
Handicapped.
No, they're physically challenged.
Well, I think
You can't say that anymore either.
I think it's differently abled. I think is the
Is that
God.
the new one?
term.
Oh, that's
What's the homeless
really?
one? Unhoused or without? What
Yeah.
is the fucking Christ?
Yeah. So it's differently abled. So there were a lot of people in like motorized scooters and people in wheelchairs and people with walkers and people with crutches and stuff. And it's like they found their community because in the Star Trek universe, there is no racism,
Right.
sexism, gender discrimination, differently abled. Like Geordie LaForge he's blind. Wears a eye visor. And like, you know, that's I think what really appeals, and that's it's like it's dyed in the wool, like these are my people. And so that part was really beautiful to see, and I love that. But the flip side, the back to that front, the negative side is that because I'm not so hard, like I was like attacked on Twitter afterwards. Like, this dumb bitch shouldn't be moderating panels. She doesn't know shit.
God.
She didn't even know. Like, I moderated the Strange New Worlds panel, which is one of the biggest panels of the convention. And they were like, she said uhuru instead of uhura a couple of times. Like, this
boy.
fucking idiot. And I'm like, oh my.
Guys, I just like the show for fuck's sake.
I'm like, and meanwhile, I thought I was crushing it because I'm like, they brought me in to be a comedian, right? So I'm being a humorous panelist and
Right.
bringing laughter to the convention, you know, as opposed to like going like deep in the weeds. But these are the people that want the deep in the weeds. So like, I can see both sides, like both perspectives of it, that if you are such a deep in the weeds person and the person who's moderating the panel and like interviewing the people that are your heroes like doesn't know as much as you, that is disappointing. I get that, but at the same time, like, people are coming after me on Twitter and I was like,
Enough.
Fandom is weird.
Crazy.
Like, you walked in here and you saw my baseball bats and stuff. Like, I'm a big Red Sox fan.
Yes.
When I go to a game, I'll wear a jersey. So it's no different than Trekkies going to conventions and like it's all the same fandom and for some reason convention people get a harder rap than like sports fans or what?
When I went to this soccer game on Sunday, I went to the women's soccer Los Angeles.
my best friend was there with her daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Heidi
I
sent
didn't
me the
know-
funniest fucking text I've gotten in years.
But I didn't know it was owned by like Natalie Portman
Yeah.
and Jennifer Garner was there, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What is happening?" So we were up because my boyfriend's niece or cousin, she's cousin.
Vaguely related.
They're Persian, so that it's all like I had no idea. Like it's all like, but she plays for them. And all of a sudden, they had some guy on the thing. I'm like, oh, who's that? I'm like,
Can
he's
I-
right there. Yeah, go ahead.
So
yeah.
if you're a Red Sox, if you're just a baseball fan, you'll understand how silly this question is, especially to ask me. I got a text from Heidi that says, "Do you know a guy named Nomar who played for Boston?" Nomar Garciaparra is one of
He's like, do I know a guy?
one of the most revered, like not even just Red Sox players, but like Boston sports icons ever.
I had no idea.
And you're like, do you know a guy named?
He was so handsome.
Yes.
I was like, oh, he was right there. He was right there. I should have, but then
This is so funny. I screenshotted that and sent it to like all my friends from home, my dad, and everyone realized how just it's such a funny question.
I only know it because
Asking a Laker
I'm
fan,
vaguely related to.
Do you know of a guy named
Bostonites.
Kobe who played for the Lakers?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of how it was.
oh really?
And because Nomar is such a distinctive name,
Yeah.
so I've heard
I
the
Do you
name.
know why his name is Nomar?
No.
His dad left when his mom was pregnant with him. His dad's name was Ramon, so his mom named him Nomar, so he'd be nothing like his dad. It's Ramon backwards.
Wow.
Whoa.
And look at what
that's
happened
deep.
to him. Look
Yep.
at how like
It worked out.
Wow.
Yep.
Deep.
I wish my dad left me. I'd be a lot more successful.
I know. Same.
He was
Jeez.
he's handsome.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
Nomar. Mm-hmm. Yes, Mar.
Yes, yes, Mar.
You guys are funny. I think we're done here, guys. I think we've done God's work today.
Yeah. We've done it.
Again, I'm so
I showed Joe my titties.
really
Thank you.
for future guests. Like the bar has been raised.
Yeah.
Guy, girl, whoever you are, come in.
Totally.
Show us those
Show you drunk.
honkers. Is what you guys like to call them? Honkers.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what you
we
like?
love that.
Yep.
Favorite.
Yep.
But really, I as a comedy fan and as a friend of yours, I'm incredibly proud of you.
Thank you.
And you really, really did a great job.
Thank you so much.
And please check out Well Hong on Amazon
good.
Prime, streaming now. And I think
And
this is the first
snort
of
your
more.
dog's Xanax.
Snort your
Yes.
dog's Xanax.
It's safe.
Find the loophole.
Yeah, it's
And
good.
What's your
Dog turf
weird-
feel good.
What's your weird ass handle out
Oh, yeah.
there in the world?
Sex pot Helen
Yeah.
Hong.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at funny Helen Hong because this other bitch named Helen Hong won't sell me my
Put
handle.
it on the screen
What about
right here.
the Helen Hong?
That's too easy.
Anything that doesn't see if knowing what I know now, I should have gone with like Helen Hong, haha, or something like that. Like because it's
No,
people,
funny's
it's
better.
hard
No,
I
to
think
find
I-
me
No, I like that. Funny Helen
because
Hong.
if you don't know what my handle is and you just type in Helen Hong, now I feel like I'm
Because you're in the algorithm and you're.
I'm higher enough on the algorithm that I will show up, but
Yeah.
like it's not an automatic like if you just type in Helen Hong, like the first thing that might come up is me, but it might also be this other.
Like if you
person.
type in K, it goes to Kim Kardashian immediately.
Right.
You have to type in FUNNYHEL and then you kind of pop up.
That's right.
But
So
we're gonna get
that's
to the
dumb.
point where it's just FU and it'll be funny Helen Hong.
Yeah.
But again, friend, thank you so much. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Well Hong streaming now.
nice
Thank
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
Please come back
It's like
again.
nice to be here in person,
Yeah, this is the first time we've done
breathing
this
in all your
together.
cooties.
Oh, it's the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
been
because
here?
we did it over the pandemic over Zoom.
I think
right.
I think you were one of my first like co-hosts of the month, one of the first
Yeah.
ones that
Yeah, I
we did.
think
Maybe
so.
you were the first. I don't remember.
Yeah,
And you had a cool room. You had a cool like
it's
noise.
my bedroom closet.
Yeah.
It's my bedroom closet with soundproofing that I bought off a dude on Craigslist.
Amazing.
Call him back, see if you can bang him.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I was thinking.
Hey, you want
Dust
to
it
see
off.
these? You want to see these scarred up titties? Come on.
Wait a minute. You know how I'm sure at Scarface is taken? How about at Scar Tits as a new name? Come on.
Like
Ooh.
ScarJo.
I'm just here to help, guys.
Scarred titties.
Honkers.
Honkers.
Scar
at-
honkers.
Yes, guys.
Yes.
Our preferred name.
Names are so easy.
Scar hunkers.
Helen, thank you. Before we go, I want to thank another patron. So last week, Heidi,
Yes.
we talked about one of our patrons upgraded from $10 to $20 to get video. Within that week, she went from $20 to $45 a week. Just to be kind. So again, thank you, Christine, for doing that.
Christine.
Very, very, very kind.
To see these faces?
Yeah, I know. Well, she's also Asian, so she can't see too well because of the obvious, the whole eye thing. So thank you. And if anybody else wants to contribute to this show, that's the only way that we make anything is patreon.com/rareformradio. Pick a tier that works for you. Any closing thoughts for you, Heidi? Something poignant, something very important for everybody.
Jeez.
No pressure, just all on you.
Scar titties.
Important.
Something really deep and something like life-changing. Send everyone away with one piece of wisdom
Just say scar titties.
into the weekend, and you can
Scar
never take it
titties.
back. Scar
Scar
titties?
titties?
That's what we're sticking with?
Scar. Piece of advice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you saying?
Just something deep, poignant, meaningful that people will never forget.
Life changing.
Don't listen to Rush.
Oh my God, that's really good.
Are you a Rush fan?
No.
Neither.
With
I'm
that
just kidding.
said, again, thank you, Helen. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, everybody. And we will be back next week. Well Hong, Amazon Prime, streaming now.
Buy it.
This is Lola, and I'm here to tell the world to stop being such pussies and listen to Rare Form Radio.